What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. You know I love meal services, so I'm trying out a new one, and this gigantic box is the beginning of it. So the reveal here is I just subscribed to Tovala. It is a meal service, but it's a little bit different in that it kind of splits the difference a little bit between ready-to-eat meals or microwavable meals like Freshly, which I've been using, versus Blue Apron, which are meals that have all the components ready and you still have to cook them. So this is kind of an in-betweener. It's a homemade meal-like, but the reason that it's like that is because of this little device here, and it's basically kind of an all-in-one oven. So this is really the key to it. I'm gonna unbox it and set it up, and we'll take a close look at it. All right, so I've got the thing unboxed here, and first of all, it's not as big as I thought it would be. For a comparison here, here's my microwave, and here is the Tavola stove. And given how much it does, it's pretty small. Now, it comes with a bunch of stuff, and I've just got everything laid out here, and it actually comes with a mitt as well as, or a hot pad, I guess, a measuring cup, and the guide and whatnot to set it up. So the first thing I'm gonna do is this plastic thing is a drip tray, and that should go right down here. And so that will catch all your stuff. And then inside, we've got to put some stuff in here. And I think this is your crumb tray. So I'm assuming this will go all the way to the bottom. That's what it looks like to me. This is your steamer guard, which will cover this bar all the way in the back, and you can see what it does is it drops water into that little tray. So I believe you've got to have steamer facing you, but you're going to slide this back there like this, and then you're going to drop it on top of this. I think that's it. Okay, so kind of cool that it steams as well. Then the oven rack, and you can see how we have the slots on the side. I think that's just going to go in there. And then you've got this little tray, and I think that can just sit right on top of it, I guess. It's the only thing that it can do. And I believe you're just going to kind of put your Tavola meals, the prep meals, right in here, and then you're going to close it up, and you've got a nice little glass door right there, nice handle. It's very nice. I mean, it's all stainless steel like finish. You've got some venting right there, and then on the front we have a little opening right here where you're going to pour in water. That's going to give it the ability to steam. You also have what I think is under here right there is your barcode reader or QR code reader. And so the nice thing about this is that it's very friendly to automated cooking instructions. So your meals will come with a cooking card. You can scan that. The other interesting thing about this is that a lot of the packaged meals, I think all of those frozen meals that you get at Trader Joe's also have barcodes on them, and you can scan them here, and then it's automatically pre-programmed to cook them perfectly. Now, the ability here to toast, steam, bake, broil, all that means it can go through various cycles to finish off one meal. So maybe you need to defrost something first, and then you want to broil it and then steam it and then finish it off by baking it. It can go through that whole entire process. So it's actually a very, very smart little oven. And I think you can control it through the app as well. So if you get other things, you can say, hey, I've got a little pizza, you know, what's your best process for doing that? And maybe it's just baking it, but it'll do that on its own. So we have some controls here: toast, steam, reheat, broil, bake. Obviously, you can scan it right there. It looks like we have a little iconography there. Then we have a temperature control right here, little indicator to add water. And then here we have the time. So if you just want to use it like a standard oven, and then start, cancel, off button right there. So pretty straightforward. So now that I got this thing set up, let's try it out. All right, and here is the box, the first delivery from Tavola. Hope I'm saying that right. And what we get is insulated package. Now, I only ordered 4 meals in here, but I actually ordered some pretty delicious looking ones. So we have some tortillas here. I think there are supposed to be some tacos. You can see how the boxes are actually, it's like buying electronics or something. Pretty nifty. And we have smoky barbecue glazed pork chop. We got Chesapeake Bay roasted salmon. I'm pretty excited about checking that one out. I got ancho lime steak tacos. That's what those tortillas are for. And then we also have sweet Thai style chicken breast with green beans. And they have the cook times on there. So this one will take 20 minutes. This one will only take 16 and a half, 13, and then 17. So you'll know how long they take, which is good. So let's start with this ancho lime steak taco. So I'm going to start with this, and as I'm unboxing, you can see that we have the QR code. That's what you're going to scan on that oven. We've got all the nutritional information and what we'll need here. So we'll need this card, but we'll also need it to actually prep this thing. So we're going to remove the plastic film on both trays, pour the lime sauce over the steak and fajita veggies, and then we're going to scan and cook this little bad boy. So everything looks pretty good. It's not the largest portion size in the world, but here is the sauce. So it'll go over that. And let's take it over to the kitchen. All right, I just put those two into the oven here, and then I'm going to, oh, and it's telling me to add some water, so I'm going to do that first. Okay, water added. All right, so there was a little flashing Wi-Fi symbol right there, and I had to set up the oven first. So just go into the Tavola app. It'll find it via Bluetooth and set it up, updates the firmware. It's all actually pretty quick. So now I think it'll work. If I hit scan there, and found it, and it says 1630, which matches what I got on the card here. So now I think I just press start, and all comes to life. It's the future, dude. All right, we'll be back in 16 and a half minutes to try this out. One thing to keep in mind here is, as it's going through the steaming cycle, I can see some of the steam leaking out of there. So you don't want this necessarily underneath a cabinet like I've got it here. So I'm just gonna kind of pull it away so that it doesn't ruin my wood. So depending on where you're mounting this, it's not quite as innocuous as, say, a microwave. Keep that in mind. All right, it just gave me some chimes and it's saying, done. So let's get this thing open and try it out. Woo! A little steamy coming out of there. Now, like I said, I saw that it was steaming and baking in this sucker, so I know it went through some cycles. It's hot and sizzling. Tavola mitt here. Tavola mitt. Looks like you can just grab that whole little tray. Looks pretty good. Smells good. And then here is the rice. And again, looks good, smells good. Let's plate this and see if we can make it look professional. All right, so there it is, the finished product. I've made 3 tacos with the tortillas that came with it, that chipotle sauce, and the cheese, the shredded cheese. You can see that I've got a pretty big helping here of rice. Now, I did say that I didn't think the portions were overly generous, and I'm gonna say right now that I'm kind of taking that back, because I think that this is more than enough food for one person for a meal. So, that being said, what does it taste like? So first of all, the taco. Sauce has a little bit of kick to it, kind of tart. It's really good. And I will tell you that the steak is really tender. It does a great job of steaming and cooking it. Sorry for the chewing, but it's for science. And then the rice. I think it's rice. It kind of has a wild rice flavor to it. Black beans. Wow, it's really good. I tell you what, I don't know, particularly in this meal, if I would be able to tell that it was kind of a meal service or an instant meal. It certainly tastes head and shoulders above a microwaved meal or something like that, an instant meal. And if you were to cook this, cut up the meat and do all that, I don't know that you'd come away with a product that's any better. And I will say that I think it's not just the ingredients and the meal and the creativity that they have there and the high quality ingredients. They taste fresh and they taste delicious. But it's also this little stove here, I think gives it, oven, gives it the ability to cook it in a way that you just can't with microwaves or just telling someone on an index card to cook something on a stove or a skillet. So pretty amazing. I really, really like it. The meals are about $11 or $12 a meal, depending on the number of meals that you subscribe to, but I'm really impressed with it so far. I can't wait to try some of these other ones out. Hey, if you want to pick this up, you can get a deal, I think, on this. They discount this for new subscribers. I will put a link to it in the description below, and that should save you, I think, like $100 on your first order. And I might get an incentive for that too. I don't know what it is, but just in full disclosure. Anyway, more to come. Peter from Panda. Out.